Hi there, podcast and public radio fans. Heath Drusen here, host and creator of the Extremely American podcast. I'm working on season 3, which is an urgent story about neo-Nazi terrorists and how they helped build a modern white supremacist movement, even from prison. Some of their ideas have even made it to today's White House. It's both a gripping true crime story and a timely warning about threats to our democracy. And this time, my investigative reporting is funded by you. To support the project, please make a tax-deductible contribution at extremelyamerican.org. That's extremelyamerican.org. And thanks.
More Idaho Matters right now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudet. Last year, we told you about a new way to treat prostate cancer. It's a disease that will likely kill 1 in every 44 men. But it's not just the cancer that can kill. Testing for the disease, which can include taking biopsies, can lead to bleeding or even sepsis, which at times can be fatal. Well, now our area has a new, safer way for men to find out if they're facing this disease. It's a type of high-resolution MRI, and Dr. Austin Slade with Capital Surgical Associates is here to talk to us about it. Dr. Slade, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So can you tell us a little bit about this new technology? How exactly does it work?
Yeah, great question. Back to the fundamentals of prostate cancer screening, we used to rely on rectal exams with the finger. That's what I think most men dread about seeing a urologist. And we've moved on to now MRIs. Everything starts with an MRI whenever there's a suspicion for the potential of prostate cancer. And that might show a spot that's worrisome, or what we hope for is a clear report where there's not something we need to move forward with a biopsy and expose patients to the risk that you mentioned. So when a patient has an MRI that shows an area of concern, historically or up until most recently, we have then in the urologist's office used an ultrasound to try and sample that area that was mentioned or concerning on an MRI. But admittedly, things do not appear the same way as an ultrasound as they do on the MRI, and you don't really know that you accurately sampled an area of concern. And especially the smaller the spot, the greater the uncertainty that we actually walked away, biopsying that area. Mm-hmm. So this new technology, it's an ultrasound MRI fusion platform. It lives in the clinic, and anyone who has had an MRI of their biopsy done anywhere can come in for this. If there's a spot that's worth biopsying, it takes the live ultrasound view that we have of the prostate and merges that image with the MRI view. It performs a 3D mapping of both the ultrasound and the MRI and allows us to create targets that coincide with the MRI areas. And we can then sample with an extremely high degree of confidence any of those concerning areas. And a greater advantage to this as well is this is called a transperineal biopsy that's being performed. Biopsies used to happen through the rectum. That has a high or certainly a risk of sepsis involved with it that is worrisome. We have to keep patients on antibiotics for at least the procedure and usually a couple of days after. Going through the perineum, this is a through the skin biopsy. There's no poking of the rectum. And so that risk of sepsis becomes negligible and antibiotics aren't even needed. So this is a wonderful way to both walk away knowing that we have precisely biopsied or sampled any concerning areas and do so in a very safe fashion.
So I am assuming technology like this is not cheap. How does this technique potentially save patients money? I mean, does it have that benefit as well?
It does have the potential for that. So the out-of-pocket cost for the biopsy itself is very similar to the patients, whether it was just ultrasound guided or MRI fusion guided, as would be the case with this new system. But where the savings can really happen is in the imaging that's required. So some of the older systems that are out there, I'll just say some of the older systems that are out there, they require a specialized MRI be performed that has the correct image file type that works with their biopsy system that they have. And that would mean for someone who had a concerning biopsy, or excuse me, a concerning MRI, if it wasn't done specifically with this new technology or with this existing older technology in mind, they would have to go get it redone. And the biopsies, the MRIs, those are not cheap. And that can be a really uncomfortable experience being in a narrow tube for 30, 45 minutes while that repeated MRI is being performed.
Why is it important for you to get the word out about this new technique? I mean, is part of it, I mean, as you mentioned, all of the benefits of it, but also maybe that other doctors can learn about this.
Oh, absolutely. With prostate cancer and any cancer, precision matters. And the treatment landscape for prostate cancer, and you mentioned going over some of the newer therapies that are out there now, this depends on having a precise understanding of where the cancer is and where it isn't. You know, historically, when it came to treating cancer, we'd be talking about only doing a radical prostatectomy. That's a surgical removal of the prostate, or radiation therapy, each of which have their risks involved. And now in Idaho, there are focal therapy options, including HIFU and cryoablation, where you can selectively treat just a part of the prostate. But in order to safely proceed with some of these advanced treatment options, you need to know with great certainty where that cancer is located. And unless you have an ability to perform 3D mapping and precise biopsies like this, you don't really know with that degree of certainty. And that's kind of the degree of certainty I would expect for treating myself, my family, and certainly any patient out there.
Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time to talk with us about this. We've been speaking with Dr. Austin Slade with Capital Surgical Associates about a new technique right here in Idaho to diagnose prostate cancer. And we will make sure to put some links on our website about this, boisestatepublicradio.org. And thanks so much for listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. Do you have thoughts about today's episode? Make sure you email us at idahomatters@boisestate.edu or reach out on our socials. And you can also listen to Boise State Public Radio podcasts, including Idaho Matters, on YouTube.
Each story you hear on Planet Money starts with a question. What happens if we refund tariffs? Why are groceries so expensive? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious, because the forces shaping our world can be hard to see. Follow NPR's Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts and start seeing how the economy really works.